Good morning, and welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday meditation service. My name is Dave, and I'm honored to be of service this morning. We hope that our service finds you happy and healthy, but please know that if you are struggling, we hope that our service can be a source of refuge as we open our hearts to you and your loved ones. Let's begin this morning with a few conscious breaths, taking a few moments to ground, to experience the body, and to breathe together. Conscious breathing is where you seal the mouth, breathe deeply through the nose, and pause for a moment before releasing slowly so that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Let's begin. Breathing in, pausing just a moment, feeling the fullness of the lungs, and releasing slowly. And as you release, checking in with the body, just being aware of what is present and alive in the body right now. A second conscious breath, pausing just a moment, ventilating this precious human form, and then releasing slowly. As you release, see if you can release any worry or concerns from the week, all the energy of doing, going, striving, accomplishing. Just allow yourself a few moments to cultivate the energy of being, not doing. And a third conscious breath together. Releasing slowly. And as you release, taking time to invite into your awareness the present moment, fully arriving in the here and now. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin the service with a chant. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition, and it's not about being a singer, it's about having a voice. And Victor will explain our chant today.
Thank you very much, Dave. Our chant this morning is Om Shanti Sat Chitananda. Om Shanti Sat Chitananda. And of course, Om, the seed sound, the sound of the universe, reminding each one of us that we are a beautiful note in a grand cosmic symphony forever playing. Shanti in Sanskrit means peace, and Sat Chitananda is a three-part word meaning truth, consciousness, and bliss. And somebody was asking me the other day about bliss. You know, people always use this term, oh, I was blissed out, you know. And bliss is not exactly the same meaning as joy or like exaltation. Bliss is more that contentment of when a person has committed their lives to a spiritual practice. There is bliss because there's a certain level of contentment that just pervades everything. So Sat Chitananda is truth, consciousness, and bliss. So let's take a conscious breath. And let's begin. Om Shanti Sat Chitananda. 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 With a smile. Om Shanti Sat Chitananda. Om Shanti Sat Chitananda. Once more. Om Shanti Sat Chitananda.
And I would like to remind you that there are plenty of cushions up here at the front if you would like to sit cross-legged on the floor. There's also blankets, cough drops, and tissues at the altar at the back. So we would like you to be as comfortable as possible. Here at TBC, we practice Western Buddhism, which is a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. This new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic, inclusive, active, and focuses on core Buddhist insights, mindfulness, meditation, and their practical application in our daily life. Our goal here is not to get everyone to agree on one lineage or philosophy. Rather, it's on cultivating a shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we are chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect that you'll participate only at the level it feels comfortable for you. We take refuge in the three jewels and acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value awareness of our own Buddha nature, as well as the Buddha nature of all beings, allowing a new perspective of this and every precious moment. The second jewel is the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear and delusion, and to help us realize the true nature of who we are. And Sangha, our spiritual community, an essential part of growth where we practice the teachings together and support each other along every step of the path. Let's take a moment to silence any electronic devices and to prepare a meditative environment. And we will now prepare for the prayer of refuge. We will recite this together 3 times. Together, in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. As we enter a time of meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then I invite you to practice in a way that is fitting for you this morning. If you're new to meditation, we will have a brief opening dedication. We'll sound the bell 3 times, then there will be a guided meditation, and then we'll spend approximately 12 to 15 minutes in noble silence. Let's begin by breathing together. Body, speech, and mind, imperfect oneness. I send my heart with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
And so as the sound of the bell recedes, guiding us, showing us the way into stillness. If you need to take another conscious breath or adjust your posture in any way, whatever you need to do to partner with the body to find a deeper sense of ease, a deeper sense of gentleness, spaciousness, and relaxation. And as the breath settles into its natural flow, its natural rhythm, we bring our awareness once more to the body, noticing the rise and fall of the tummy with each in-breath and out-breath, and also noticing any points of tension or contraction, remembering to release the forehead and the eyebrows, let the shoulders drop, the jaw is easy, and the belly softens. And so remaining connected to the breath by bringing our awareness back to the rise and fall of the tummy each time it wanders away. The body is now easy and light, gentle and relaxed. We can bring our awareness to awareness itself. Noticing when the mind becomes aware of a sound, perhaps in the room or in the hallway. Noticing when the mind becomes interested in a sensation like an itch or the feeling of hot or cold. Noticing when the mind becomes obsessed with a thought or even a string of thoughts. All these things simply come and go. They just rise and they fall. Our practice is to create space around them. Vast, open, clear, pure space that simply provides room for all this phenomena to appear and disappear. We are like the sky. Everything else is just weather. And so, connected to the breath, the body is spacious and easy. The mind is clear, yet receptive to whatever arises, and the heart is open. We can move more deeply into our meditation. I close my eyes, and I see clearly. I stop trying to listen, and I hear truth. I am silent, yet my heart sings. I seek no contact and find union. I am gentle and need no strength. I am still, yet move forward. I am humble and remain whole, returning again and again to the breath. returning again and again home. And so I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sound, noticing the sound of my voice or the sound of the air handlers in the room. And as you become aware of the sense door of sound, at the same time, can you keep 5% of your awareness on that deep, still silence within? That silence which is not contingent upon any external circumstances. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of touch as you notice the feeling of your clothing upon your skin. And as you become aware of material, matter, form, at the same time, can you keep 5% of your awareness on what is formless? In other words, awareness of awareness. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sight as you slowly begin to open your eyes, just letting in a little bit of light, not focusing hard on anything, just letting objects come to you. And as you become aware of walls and chairs and people, at the same time that you become aware of objects and stuff and things, can you keep 5% of your awareness on the space around them? The space in and through all objects. The space in this room. How it is not different from the space around the building, or even the space around our planet. And next, I invite you to bring your awareness to your breath as we take a conscious breath together. And as you release, become present in the here, in the now, in this time, and in this place. Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you, Christine. Good morning, everyone. We always lovingly refer to our friends who are joining us from around the world as our PJ Sangha, because they're all at home in their PJs. You guys could maybe get the Arctic Sangha this morning. And also, before we begin, I do want to acknowledge that this is Veterans Day weekend, and so just taking a moment to hold in our hearts all those folks. We have many in our Sangha, both present and online, who have committed their lives to a life of service, being of service to our country and our interests. And so a tremendous open heart of gratitude for all those folks who have committed themselves and sacrificed so much to be of service to our country in our ways here. So again, thank you. Well, I suppose many of you are wondering about this topic, the Buddha, the Bet, and the Bud. So Kansas, as many of you know, has just recently, within the past 3 or 4 months, legalized gambling. It is now legal to gamble in so many ways in Kansas. And so I did a little bit of inquiry and found out that not only can you bet on whether or not the Chiefs win, you can actually bet down to the play With an app on your phone, you can bet whether or not they're gonna pass or they're gonna run, or who's gonna get the ball. And I'm like, wow, it has just been, it's come down to this moment by moment ability to gamble. And not only have we replaced slot machines with a simple click of a button, but the slot machine is riding around in the back of our pocket all day, buzzing us when there's a great opportunity to become fabulously wealthy. And of course, here in Missouri, we have just legalized recreational marijuana. And so it probably will not be long before you can actually have it delivered right to your doorstep when DoorDash becomes DoorHash or something. I don't know, I'm making this up. So, you know, as practitioners, gambling, intoxicants, they're not by themselves good, bad, right, or wrong. It is not our way to say, oh, that's bad, don't do that. That is not the Buddhist practice. However, it is our relationship to those things. The great spiritual teacher Krishnamurti said that truth is a pathless land. Truth is found in relationship, not specifically relationship between people, but our relationship to everything, to the world. For example, your relationship to your phone, your relationship to money, your relationship to time. And so our practice is examining and bringing a deep, playful, curious inquiry into our relationship with all things. And now that Kansas and Missouri have passed these laws, these things are certainly much more prevalent and accessible and available now than ever before. And so let's also not delude ourselves. We gamble every day. I mean, every day, every time our mind plots out what might happen against what actually happens, we simply pull the arm and wait for the thrilling result. Did I lose? Did I kind of win? Did I hit the jackpot? Oh, I knew it. I knew Megan was going to choose Brandon on The Bachelorette. I knew it was going to happen. So we're always gambling. It is very much human nature. We also self-medicate, don't we? There are many types of intoxicants out there besides drugs. Of course, alcohol, salty foods, caffeine, chocolate, crumble cookies. But there are other less obvious categories of intoxicants out there. For example, daydreaming. It's a form of tuning out. It's a great intoxicant. There's also blaming, worry. That's a big one. That's a familiar, warm, old sweater, worry is. Analyzing, trying to figure everything out. It's so funny because I have come to see the 24-hour news cycle in a kind of a different way, because they never actually give you any facts. It's always about what might happen, what may show up. It's just this constant alert, alert, this might happen maybe, kind of, sort of. So it's really fascinating, and it's become really shallow and hollow. There's really nothing going on in there. Obviously, every now and then, there will be breaking news or a bombshell. They finally have something to tell us. But those are few and far between. That's because they're playing on human nature. Justifying, the analyzing, storytelling. Oh, storytelling's a great intoxicant. I need to tell my story. Just wait, let me tell you all everything that has happened to me. I can't wait to tell you what the world has done to me. In fact, forget about you. I'll just tell myself all these stories. That can entertain me and intoxicate me for hours. And it is really fascinating. If you really look closely, you can actually get high off the storytelling. There's an energy, there's a release of some chemicals as we share and we get everybody else to agree with us on how bad this person is or how terrible this situation is. And we all kind of work each other into a foamy, frothy feeding frenzy around something. There's a high there. There's a hit. Oh, of course, and then there's pleasure. Oh, here we go. I was talking with Beth the other day. She runs the school downstairs and runs our youth and family program. And she was talking about how they did this experiment with a rat. And they hooked up some electrodes to the rat's brains, particularly the pleasure centers, and they had two buttons. One button was for like a ratgasm, and the other button was for food. Basically, he starved to death. And so the odd thing about pleasure is that instead of fully enjoying what is here, being able to be absolutely 100% present with pleasure, we instantly become busy looking for more, or how to sustain it, or how to get it back. We miss the true depth of pleasure by being intoxicated with the possibility of more. Now, the most interesting intoxicant, especially for those with a spiritual practice of some sort, is our intoxication with how we can be better. How we can be better than we are now. Oh, I need to get enlightened. It's over there. We get intoxicated with a future version of ourselves. Or we simply become intoxicated with the future, all by itself. Of course, we are also often intoxicated with the past as well, and it is really, truly worth looking at. It is worth looking at this idea of how our experience in terms of the high that is there. In fact, with all these examples that I've shared, what's truly important for practice is to inquire deeply, with a playful curiosity. I cannot stress that enough. With this sense of wonder and awe to discover the high that is there, especially the high that is disguised by the lows. Worry, self-righteousness, these lows that are old friends that somehow seem to reap benefits as we express how terribly we feel or how bad we are or how inept or insignificant we are. And then all of our friends tell us, oh, no, you're great, you're wonderful, you're awesome. Oh, yeah, there it is. Give me more hits, more intoxication. And sometimes we want to alter our experience just ever so slightly. I'm sitting here, I'm uncomfortable, I want to have lunch. I focus on the thought, and then the thought actually becomes craving, complete with an imagined possibility of lunch. Oh, I can see it, I can smell it. It becomes an alternative to just simply being here. We have set up and created an ideal that is now better than this moment. And we get intoxicated with that. We get hooked on that. And suddenly this applies to everything. Better car, better job, better clothes, better spouse, better dog, better TV show. Click, 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 click. There's got to be something better on the next channel. Click, 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 click. pull the lever on the slot machine, right? You see how it's all related? It's all the same. It's all playing on our human nature. Roshi Nancy Baker wrote an article in Tricycle, and she was talking about all of this in terms of the fifth precept. Some people in the Buddhist practice commit themselves to taking the 5 precepts. Many of you have heard these and experienced to them, not killing, not succumbing to sexual misconduct, not stealing, taking things, all these things. Well, the 5th precept is to refrain from intoxicants. And so she talks about it this way. She says that, and with the other precepts, and like working with the other precepts, the first and most important step in working on the 5th precept around intoxicants is to get to know ourselves with no judgment. Wow. To get to know ourselves with no judgment. This is our practice of bare attention. Attention that is free of judgment, story-making, commentary. In this case, it is to notice our intoxication habits, to bring our full attention to them, to be curious about them, to contemplate them in a state of openness, compassion, wonder. Part of this practice is to discover that those very subtle highs, including the ones that are disguised as lows, each of us is different in this respect. And it is important to find what works for you and practice meticulous attention in getting to know it. We are not rejecting or denying human nature. We are bringing awareness to it. This is what we are waking up to. Conditioning, habit patterns, habituated patterns of thinking and thought. All of these things run under the radar, can only be effective under the radar. Awareness unties every knot we have. And when we become aware of these habit patterns, when we become aware of these habituated patterns of thinking, oh, you had a hard day, you deserve a little reward. When we become aware of that voice, that's freedom, that's liberation, because it's no longer you saying it. You're no longer caught up in it. You are who is aware of it. This is why the Buddhist recovery programs are so popular, because it's not demonizing anyone or anything. With a playful curiosity, it's looking at human nature. Yeah, that same human nature that has helped us to wake up is also the same human nature that has caused us to go to sleep or caused us to become addicted. It's not good, bad, right, or wrong. It is simply an opportunity to awaken. And so is every other moment. The Buddha's teachings are not only about enlightenment. There is also a way of wholesome living. It is about enhancing well-being and cultivating skills for this life. Buddhism, day-to-day life. You don't have to be a monk or a nun. Everybody, people who are totally occupied with their family and work responsibilities, can easily benefit from this way of practice. In fact, this is what the Buddha taught to the largest segment of his disciples, such as the householders, the peasants, the merchants, the nobles, kings and queens, courtesans. This is what he taught. I am nothing special. I'm just a guy that woke up, and you can do it too. Here's how. What does this way of wholesome living mean? It is about molding one's own thoughts, words, and actions for the benefit of all beings. It is about cultivating a healthy mind for a happier community. By developing qualities such as patience and concentration, awareness and mindfulness, it is possible to attain a lasting sense of well-being. Not that 30-minute hit that gambling gives you, not that evening of, euphoria that marijuana gives you. No, what we're talking about here is a lasting sense of well-being, contentment, ease, joy, love, compassion that are not dependent on something outside of us. So the way of wholesome living, this Buddhism for day-to-day life, is suitable for anybody, irrespective of whether one is a theist, an atheist, an agnostic, no matter what your faith, your belief systems, and it doesn't matter whether one is able to resolve the philosophical questions such as the continuity of life after death. None of that matters, because none of that's in this moment. Only this moment, right here, we can simply work with what we can directly perceive here and now. That is where freedom exists. The way of wholesome living is not a rigid regime, a rigid regimen of practices. And in fact, the Buddha offers 6 steps. And I have placed these 6 steps at the music stand at the entryway to the meditation hall so that you can do your own research, your own practice. And these 6 steps are known as, in the Buddhist practice, as the steps for working with unwholesome states of thought. What do I do with that little thought that says, oh, you've had a rough day, you deserve a little treat? Here are the basic 6 steps. Fascinatingly enough, it begins with noticing a person who is displaying unwholesome qualities. And we don't judge them. We see ourselves in them. And when we can do that, we create oneness. They are me. I am them. So when we see in another person unwholesome qualities, we bring that back and we see that in ourselves. Instead of judging them, instead of labeling them and sticking them on a shelf, and which by the way is a form of violence, not being aware of their Buddha nature and just putting them on a label and in a box. Step 2 is to infer then, if I were to have those unwholesome qualities that I saw in this person that I deemed unpleasant, then that would be unpleasant in me as well. Step 3, a person who now is aware of this, aware of the unwholesome qualities that are being displayed all around them, is then aware of those qualities in themselves, can now bring about a certain state of mind, which is abandoning or stepping aside from those unwholesome qualities in themselves, in myself. Step 4, a review. Constantly being on the lookout for these unwholesome qualities as they arise. In other words, mindfulness. And step 5, when you have become aware that these unwholesome qualities are present, to simply abandon. Don't get rid of, don't kick to the curb. There is no doing. There is a simple abandoning of those qualities. You just release. And step 6, upon realizing that these qualities have been abandoned, is then aware of the joy, is aware of the ability to be present, to be a light for all those around who are now not observing those unwholesome qualities in this form that we all call Victor. And every day we will have opportunities to practice this. Every day, because we have human bodies. We get to play with these for 60, 70, 80, 90 years. Who knows how long we get to play with them? But we get to play with them. Not only do we get to experience the amazing joys, the amazing love, compassion, and all the wonderful sensory pleasures that come with it. Still trying to figure out about those little electrodes and that button. So still trying to understand all these amazing things that come. But we also get to experience a broken heart, a broken toe, addiction, sadness. We get to experience it all. This is that full range of the human experience that the Buddhist practice offers to us. Because when we harden our hearts, or when we collapse down on a belief that, I am a bad person, I have done bad things, and you think that you're a thing instead of a process, and you get to experience that too. But it is in the awakening that we begin to shine our light for all beings in all places. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. And let's just take a moment to embody the teachings before we move into our loving kindness meditation. And we will do an abbreviated loving kindness meditation.
Did Victor talk too long again?
Maybe a little. Victor, would you go ahead and do that, please?
Begin by simply adjusting our posture, relaxing, and we'll take a conscious breath together. And as we do so, we bring into our mind's eye a full body image of the body that has been given our name and that has accrued the many experiences. A full body image of you. And holding this image in your mind's eye, recite silently to yourself these words of loving kindness practice. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. May I be well in body and mind. And may I be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. And as you release that sentiment into the universe, I invite you now to bring to mind the image of a difficult person in your life, a challenging person, a boss or a co-worker, classmate, a neighbor, or a political figure. And holding this image in your mind's eye, let us open our hearts as we send metta. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. And as you release that sentiment into the universe, I invite you now to bring to mind the image of the world. All the plants and the flowers and the trees, all the animals of the land, the sea, the sky, and all sentient beings. Holding this image in your mind's eye, let us open our hearts as we send metta to us all. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be safe from inner and outer dangers. May we be well in body and mind. And may we be at ease and happy. Conscious breath.
And in the true spirit of dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, temple services are given freely. In the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, meaning not in return for something that you've received, but so that others who may seek refuge in the Sangha may find it here in this temple. Dana boxes are located at the rear of the meditation hall. We would like to thank all of our wonderful volunteers, and thank you to our TBC ambassadors who've committed to regular electronic monthly donations. It's not about the amount, it's just that the monthly donations help us to set a budget here at TBC. If you'd like to become an ambassador, just click the link on the website or text Unity Temple to 77977. Thank you to Victor for your wisdom. And thank you to Christine for your wonderful music. And let us now prepare to close our service with the Bodhicitta dedication. And we will repeat this one time together. May the pure, brilliant sun of Bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with our hands together in front of our hearts, let us go forth from this place, entering each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. As we open our hands, open our eyes, shine our light into the world, namaste.
Namaste. I wasn't done.
And if you'll stay put for just a second, Victor's got a few brief announcements.
Yes. Thank you everyone so
Much. And so just a couple brief announcements. Thank you so much to everyone who came to the full moon meditation. We did dances of universal peace. There was a flower mandala. There was chanting. We had about 65 people, so it was really well attended. It was truly a beautiful experience. A number of people said, let's do it again, let's do it again. So we're going to take a look at perhaps January or February for the full moon in that time to come back together and do more. And don't forget, I have placed these 6 steps for working with unwholesome states of mind is on that music stand where you enter the meditation hall. Don't forget our lending library is over there. Also, there is a sign-up sheet out front. We are looking for help. We need some help with our youth and family program. We need some folks who could do 1 hour a month to be with the kiddos. We call them guides, our Dharma guides, to be with the kiddos and work with them 1 Sunday a month. And so what a lot of our guides do is they'll come to, for example, the 9 o'clock service so that they feel spiritually nourished and enriched, and then they'll go and they'll watch the kids for the 10:30 service. So there's a sign-up sheet on the counter right outside the door. Also, don't forget, Kristen will be offering a 30-minute meditation today from 12:10 to 12:40, and this is the second Sunday, which means it is our meditation seminar. So if you have questions or any issues or problems with your meditation practice, with your mindfulness practice, with applying some of the Buddhist principles and practices to a life situation, please come back and visit us from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock right here in this room, and I'll be leading the meditation seminar. It's just basically a workshop in how to kind of deal with any issues that we might be having in our practice. And then also, don't forget, our 4-day silent meditation retreat is coming up. We've already got 8 people registered who have sequestered for a room. We have about 20 rooms, some of them shared, some of them individual. There will be vegetarian meals you can attend as a sequestered retreatant, or you can also come as a commuter, come in the morning and go home at night, or you can also attend virtually. So the registration is up on a templebuddhistcenter.com page, so please stop by and see that. And then finally, my last announcement is that the KC Restoration School is having a sale. That sale is going on today from noon to 4. It is downstairs. KC Restoration School is not closing, they're just moving. So they have lots of children's games, activities, items. They've also got some furniture and some various things. I think there was even some computers and things downstairs for sale. So if you have an opportunity at noon, please come back and check out the sale. And thank you, Dave. There's a beautiful plant. It's called the Succulent Jubilee that is out front that they are raffling off. So lots of opportunities to help Beth and the school move forward. So again, I'll leave this up for you. Lots of opportunities. Don't forget our Buddhism and 12-Step Recovery is at 12:30. Dave leads Recovery Dharma on Thursdays at 7. And so many opportunities to connect with Sangha, both near and far. So again, thank you so very much, and I wish you peace, blessings, and long johns.